So why don't we go ahead and have people actually properly introduce their characters? And I'm going to go left to right from the Roll20 order. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Avery. So Avery, tell us about your character.
Hello, I am playing Suzuma, who is a Fox Street entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the catchphrase yet, but I think I am going with... no, I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So once again, to reiterate, you are not Kitsune from the Usagi comic book. You are completely OC, do not steal.
Exactly.
All right. Just double checking. And also, since it kind of matters for the playtest, how did you say you were armed again?
I am going for the Tessen. Because I noticed everyone has some blade weapons, so I decided to go for something.
Right. So, no, officer, this is a fan. Really? It can't help but notice it's shod with steel. Yeah, it just makes it sturdy, officer.
Exactly.
One of my favorite weapons that's in the book is the smoking pipe with blade guard attached. Why did you pipe him a blade guard? Just makes it easier to hold, officer. This is not a weapon.
It keeps the ashes away from my hand.
Keeps the ashes
sure
away.
Seems awfully sharp.
In fact, I discovered when I was editing this that we had listed 2 different flutes. We had listed the Kamuso, which is the actual playing flute, but I think what we wanted was the Shaka. What is that? The shakuhachi. The shakuhachi is the war flute. That is the flute that's made from extra hard bamboo, so you can beat people over the head with it. Once again, officer, this is not a weapon. This is a flute. Let's go ahead and go to Teth. That's such a great image. What are you playing today?
I'm playing Byako, I guess we're going to say cat, who is a Machu Sushi, a sorcerer.
Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Yes, I have the quirk of unpredictable. I am equipped with a Hankyo, and I guess if we need a catchphrase, my catchphrase will be, I always have a plan.
Yep. Now, quirks were optional. They give you an add-on or a disadvantage, so you've picked unpredictable.
Right, so when I roll a 1, I subtract 4 from the roll, and when I roll a 6, I roll an extra d6.
Yeah, and this is something I'm going to have to double check, because I noticed in the comic book, Usagi calls wizardry Maho, but all of the research I could turn up calls it Majutsu.
Well, Majutsu does generally mean magic user, spellcaster, wizard, sorcerer, things like that. He might just be referring to magic as Maho.
Right, I think magic itself is Maho, but the practice, Jitsu, is Majutsu. So, okay, and so I went with Majutsu Shi for sorcerer.
Yeah, that would make sense. Magic technique then would be the word, yeah, sure.
Okay, I mean, I'm assuming this is correct. Like I mentioned earlier, doing research, as soon as a term shows up on Bleach or Naruto, it's almost impossible to find anymore. So, speaking of people we believe in, Griffin, what are you playing today?
Believe it. I'm playing Ganburo the Unyielding, a rhinoceros bounty hunter. And I've chosen his catchphrase to be, you can't escape me.
Another original character, do not steal. In fact, that reminds me, I should probably put in a note about, just because you're playing the character doesn't mean you always get your way. You guys are cool about that, but this is someone's first game. And speaking of somebody who is not their first rodeo, Arkloid, who are you playing today?
I'm playing Kazumi, the rat Nukenin or ninja. He is a general fast talker, and I have a tentative catchphrase as the hand is quicker than the eye.
Okay. Now, what's your cover story? You don't walk around telling people you're a ninja, right?
Right. I hadn't thought of that. Let's see.
That's why I was thinking we should probably put it in a note there. It says you're not supposed to walk around like, hello, I'm James Bond, spy.
Well, I mean, he does half of that.
You're not supposed to.
Well, let me see here. I have him coming from the Kanazawa province, or this Kaga province. I'd have to look up which one it was. And I guess I'll have him as a local guide for now, and see if something else catches my inspiration to make a more suitable cover story.
Yes, that's me, a local guide.
Let's see. Here we go. I finally found it. The 7 disguises of the ninja are itinerant monks, Buddhist monks, mountain ascetics, merchants, actors, street entertainers, and, quote, normal appearance, meaning taking on the person of a typical resident of the city.
If you could show me that, if you could trade that link with me, I would be very much appreciative.
I do like
Absolutely.
that.
This is the random thing I have found.
That
I
last
remembered
one,
that it existed.
That last one is basically a normal guy.
Yeah, last one
that's
is
a
just normal.
disguise.
Hello, I am a normal person. How do you do, fellow normal people?
I'm here to exchange money for goods and services.
I, much like you, hail from here.
Isn't here
This
great?
reminds me of like all the Psychonaut level with the conspiracy theorists and the milkman. And all the government agents go around, I'm just a plumber. You see, I hold this thing, so that means that I am a plumber, and I do my job.
I don't know why a ninja in Usagi would not just, dress up like a woodcutter. Those guys are fucking everywhere.
Oh, there we go.
A world where it's more strange to not be dressed as a ninja.
Is there anybody here who's not a ninja? There's a classic Far Side cartoon where it's like all these wolves in sheep's clothing, like dozens of them in the field, and they're all going, wait, is there anybody here who is a sheep? Okay, so the 4 of you normal people are traveling down one of the 8 roads because this is 1605 Japan. Ta-da! It is divided into, we call them the 8 roads. They're actually 8 provinces, all of which lead to Edo, the capital. I apologize to anyone in advance if I butcher the Japanese pronunciation. I'm doing my best. These roads became important areas of commerce because the tent government requires every one of the reigning daimyos to put some of their relatives, so often their wives, up at the palace, and then they have to visit the government every so often, otherwise they get fired. So they spent a lot of time going up and down the road. This meant that the 8 roads that lead to the capital became traffic for rich nobles. So that's where a lot of the, good stuff happens and business happens, especially if you're street entertainers. So, but the farther we get from the capital, it's only 1605. Nobunaga's ambition was only 8 years earlier. It's still in everyone's memory of the war-torn countryside and how terrible everything is. So it's still a place of healing as well as opulence. In other words, Japan is a land of many contrasts. So the 4 of you are traveling together because obviously traveling in a band of adventurers is safer than traveling alone. And soon you're reminded of that as you pass one of the many bends. You travel through a small collection of trees, which had grown fallow because no one has quite chopped it, and eventually past. Have you guys ever seen those roadside shrines where they pile up all the little stones in various irregular piles?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then you hear a cry of dismay. And as you crest the hill, you can see they're not lined up like they are in this picture here, but there's like a gang of outlaws. And one of them is kicking a young woman, yelling at her. something at this range which is barely articulate. All 12 of them look like ruffians. They have scruffy clothing and looks like they sleep outside a lot. So when you see the scene, do you turn tail and run away thinking it's not my business?
Well, this hardly seems fair. I'm going to step forward and put a stop to this. I will draw attention and shout in their direction. Hey, all of you.
All right, you say, hey, all of you. All right, now, the basic ability of getting people's attention, I believe, is righteousness, the ability to make a scene.
Well, it turns out I am righteous, so I will have a +1.
All right, so we'll introduce everyone to the basic rule in the game, the basic move. So there are other moves than the ones we have listed. I need to make sure there's a note of those in the book. But this is the basic move, overcoming other people. So you will roll 2 6-sided dice and add your righteousness.
And that's a pretty good roll. On 11, I says I can demand a strong foe's surrender, and if they don't, they can take +1 forward. Resist being influenced or resist a grand situation. Is there anything for demanding, say, a group of weak foes, which these all seem like?
What is your demand?
I demand they stop harassing that young woman and let her go.
Ah, what are you doing here? Says this guy here, armed with a spear. It's not any of your business.
Just well, it looks like a lot of money for me. I'm a bounty hunter, and you all look like a bunch of criminals.
Boss, says this guy here. He says he's a bounty hunter. What? Don't just stand there, you idiots. You outnumber them. You outnumber that fool 12 to 1. He can't kill you all.
That's what they always say.
All right. Silence this interloper. We don't have time for this. I'll go back to kicking this poor woman. All right.
Their priority.
Okay, Gambaro, we have refused to accept your surrender. You may take +1 in dealing with this. However, after a player does something, I, as a GM, can react. Okay, so you have to wait. Right, and we make a point here of saying that you have to wait for our reaction. The 6 of the brigands rush forward, rah! And all adopting different postures, carrying their rusty swords, and they attempt to intimidate you. I need you to make a righteousness roll.
All right, once again. Well, there are a lot of them, but that's sort of typical, it seems, on a 9.
You resist being intimidated. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and move from dicey time to combat time. So now I'm going to give everyone a chance to go ahead and take an action. If you don't want to make a move, if you don't want to do anything at all, you can just pass. But we're going to give all the players a chance to make a move. Bad guys will react, and then there'll be a bad guy interval, and then we'll get back to you. So as soon as Gambaro antagonizes them, 6 of them rush forward and surround him and start, we'll totally get you. I'm an extra in a Kurosawa movie. Observe my angry posturing.
I would like to give Gambaro a boost by shouting encouragement at him.
All right, shout something encouraging, street performer.
Something encouraging.
Yes, sorry.
Yep. You're an anime character. It's the power of friendship. You can kill them all.
I believe in you, main character.
Quick question: which would this be? Righteousness.
I think you actually have a specialty teamwork move because you're a street performer.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, but that requires support points, doesn't it?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, I hadn't thought about that. Oh no, wait. Yeah. No, your teamwork move. If you could, you actually don't need to spend a support point. You can roll 2d6 and add nothing since you don't have any support points yet. If you roll a 6 or less, you'll give them a +1. If you roll a 7 to 9, you give them a +2, and if you roll 10 to 12, you give them a +3. Okay, 7. So you assist a friend for +2 forward. Shout something encouraging.
Go on, show them how it's done.
All right, Gambaro, you now have +2 with another +1 or +3 forward.
Well, this is looking pretty good so far. So let's see what else happens.
Okay. That's Suzumi cheers you on. That leaves Bayako and Kazumi.
From somewhere in the back, Byako is pulling out his Hanko and, slowly pulling an arrow out just below everybody's sight line because he's standing in the back.
Maybe backing up into cover so you can fire.
So, did you want to pass or did you want to make a move?
I'm just narratively describing what I'm doing, but I'm not making any moves.
Okay. And last is Kazumi. The bounty hunter ran forward. The street entertainer said, "Yeah, you go get him."
All right, then. I know it's not everybody that carries a shuriken, but let's try to thin the herd. And
it's actually a samurai weapon, if you noticed on the list.
Oh, well then, not everybody carries a shuriken then, do they?
Yeah.
All right, so what would I roll for that sort of attack?
All right, so that is a ninjutsu attack. So you would roll your ninjutsu move, which would roll 2 dice plus any story points. None of you have earned any story points left yet, so it's just going to be 2d6.
Okay, well, here we go.
And you are undercover agents. Okay, so you have a 7. That is good enough to score a weak hit on a single foe. So I assume you're going to pick this weak guy and do a weak hit on him.
Yes.
Okay. Thud. He goes down because he is weak. Everyone sees you do that because it's only a 7 to 9 roll. You could instead choose to miss and take +3, like choose +3 instead. But yeah, he just dies. So he's jerking.
I'll just take him out.
Okay. Gambaro, you are up. You currently have a +3. Your very next roll gets a +3, and then after that, you'll go back to normal.
Yep, this is looking like a good time to use Bushido, my attack move.
All right, so you move forward and attack these guys.
That's correct. And the real question is going to be, do they all count as in a group or a line?
I'm going to go ahead and split them up into 2 groups here. So there's a group of 3 and a group of 2.
Okay, so I will go ahead and attack the group of 3 because I've scored a strong enough hit that I can use my weapon's unique move, Sweep.
Right. So this is the Usagi Yojimbo where you run forward and there's 3 guys. One goes, ah, and the second guy clutches his chest, and the third guy goes, and that's a word balloon that's a skull.
There we go, and just sweep them away, and because it was such a good hit, I have a +3 forward on my next move as well.
Okay.
I've shown them how it is done.
Boss, maybe he can kill us all. Stop dying, you cowards. Okay.
Do you have an extra assassin hiding in the bush?
No one makes fun of my ass and gets away with it, he says, shaking his cartoon fist. All right, well, I would do a retaliation move, but they're all dead. So now it's time for bad guys to go ahead and take an interval.
Coming back into range, very bold of them.
Okay, so these 3 will go ahead and engage Gambaro, taking the falling in the ranks behind. Gambaro, do you want to attack or dodge?
I definitely want to attack because, oh boy.
Make another Bushido roll.
Alright, so I have +3 forward and +1 forward to subdue all the brigands, so I'm at +4 now.
Well, once you use a forward bonus, it's not a standing bonus, it's gone. So.
Oh, really? The way that one was worded made me assume that it actually stuck around.
I'll clarify, it's just for the next roll.
Alright, that'll be good. That is still +3, and that's still pretty good.
Alright.
As long as I keep hitting really well. I sweep them again.
All right, so you'll kill all of these guys again. So they rush forward. However, Okay. Well, now we've got a problem. Now, we did engage you first. So the second group is going to go past the exposed people and deal with the attacking people.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so while you're busy murdering all those guys, this next group goes through. And that guy who killed Ugly
Jimmy.
Tanaka, get him! And these three guys go ahead and they will attack Kazumi.
Oh boy.
Kazumi, do you want to dodge using your initiative, or do you want to go ahead and counterattack using ninjutsu?
Dodge.
All right, make an initiative roll, please.
He's a fast talker, so he gets 3 dice for that, but subtracts 3 from the total.
Oh, all right. That is enough to defeat a strong group, which is what these guys are. You say something like, "Hey, can we talk about this?" And then, they all slash at you and you dodge through the trees.
Yeah, I didn't throw it at you guys, but I might have to now.
All right, there is a third group. I'm already seeing a couple of problems with this map, but we'll deal with this later. The third group's going to go ahead, and since Byakko has a bow out, they're going to go ahead and attack Byakko. Byakko, you could attack or defend yourself using initiative, or you could try to shout them down using righteousness.
We'll shout them down.
All right, say something scary.
You do not know the forces that you are messing with.
Yeah, and you are unpredictable, which means your rolls are weird.
Double 4s, though.
Okay, so a new rule that was introduced in this book is an event. Whenever doubles happen, something weird can happen in the game. There are specific weirdnesses in the game, but other kinds of weirdness that may show up. There really isn't anything weird for this roll, so because no one's actually doing anything weird, so I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go. But in the game, if you've suffered injuries or something, they can be triggered by rolling doubles. Okay,
I had a quick correction here. I should have rolled a 3d6 minus 3 because my initiative is +1. I had forgotten the stat had changed from the earlier edition that you had first published. So
okay.
When I roll initiative in, it's going to be it's going to be 3d6 minus 2. That was my mistake the first time.
Okay, so your roll was actually higher. Congratulations. I like it when the errors are in people's favor. All right. You have a... Oh no, you only have an 8. That would be enough to make a weak person back down, but this is a group of people, so they're going to go ahead and count as a strong group. So one of them is going to back off, but the other one runs forward and slashes you. Byakko, you will suffer a setback point.
Got it.
Whenever you suffer a setback point, you must make a roll of 2d6 minus your setback. I'm going to give you another +1 because you did successfully intimidate the other guy. So roll 2d6 +1 -1 for setback, or just 2d6. And this is an unpredictable roll, so let's go for it.
9.
Okay, I believe 9 is nothing on a setback. We have to put these on the sheet. 9 is no effect, so nothing happens. Oh no, your clothes have been torn.
Foolish fool.
Yamada, well, the thug here with the spear is going to grab the woman. You've cost me a lot of trouble. You better be worth all of this. She says, "Let me go." Quiet, you. And of course, in melodramatic fashion has to backhand her, which they'll do off screen. Oh my god, it's terrible. Speaking of terrible, it's Rise of Our Heroes.
Well, it does look like all of my friends are in trouble.
Yep, there's one mob on Kazumi and one mob on Byakko. Oh, and Suzumi, your support, so if you want to go first, feel free.
I'm just not sure who to help.
Okay, if you want to wait, you can wait.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, I will wait.
Okay. Gambaro, you're a take charge kind of guy. There is no one in between you and Yamada. You could engage Yamada or help your friends.
That is true. And I Thing is, I don't quite know how well these guys are going to defend themselves yet. So...
Byakko took damage.
That is true. He could probably use some help, so I will actually try to help him first. Because I like to keep people from dying.
Ah, it's the bounty hunter!
That's right, you can't get away from me. And, let's use that +3 forward. 10. A more moderate roll this time.
That's defeat a strong group, right?
Yep, that's... strong hit against a single foe, or use my Bushido weapon, which lets me get the weak hit on everyone in the group.
So you're gonna cut them down?
Yup.
All right.
Just keep spinning to win, and it seems to be working really well.
So yeah, in game terms, Byakko would tell them to back down. They go, one of them goes, "Oh no, he looks really weird. So he bleeds like everyone else," and then you'll run for it.
Unfortunately, this does break my streak, and I no longer have +3 forward on my next.
I know. Byakko, you're all by your lonesome, and you have a bow.
I will levy an arrow against Yamada.
Okay. Yep, you can go ahead and shoot at Yamada.
That is a 12 because of the -4.
So is that a grand hit? No, that's
a strong hit.
Okay, you will shoot, and now Yamada is not only a strong character, he's also a countdown. So he has multiple hit points. So thunk! I knew you weren't worth it. So he like lets go of Nishi. Nishi will run the hell will start running away. She starts to run off into off the path and into the forest.
All right, I will shout something encouraging to Kazumi then.
All right.
Something encouraging.
Kazumi, if I know anything about you, it's you're a cold-blooded killer who thinks of nothing but taking others' lives. You're certainly not an assassin in disguise.
Definitely.
Kazumi, you have not yet acted.
Yes, I'm going to throw another shuriken. And this time I'm going to use the retreat move if I can.
Right. If you can roll a 10 or better, you can use the weapon's special move.
Yes.
And you get a bonus.
You get +2. So you have a 10, which is enough to use the special move.
Excellent.
So you're going to go ahead and shuriken one of these guys, thunk, and then you retreat to cover.
Yes. Setting up for a backstab soon.
Okay. And he falls back. Come back, you coward! Since you moved to covered, there's going to be no retaliation from the bad guys because they can't see anyone. So on the now, when the bad guys take a move, they're going to go ahead and move on Suzumi. You busybody! You shouldn't get involved in these affairs. And they move in to attack Suzumi. Suzumi, you could try to intimidate them with righteousness, dodge them with initiative, attack them with your attack move, or do something else I haven't thought of.
Let's try dodging that.
Okay, make an initiative roll. You must roll 10 or better to avoid all of them. Oh! So close. The mob of characters overwhelms you. You will suffer a setback point. I need you to make a roll of 2d6 2d6 minus 1. Wow. So you have rolled a 3. Wow. That happened faster than I thought. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change that. Okay, so they run forward and injure you, and you will let out a loud cry. I want you to make a note that your initiative has been impaired, and your righteousness has been impaired.
Great, now I feel bad.
Now, what this means is in the future, when you make rolls that use either initiative or righteousness, if you roll doubles, something bad happens. And yes, and Cesaro is immediately like, "Oh no, I backed away and let Suzumi get hurt." That's the end of bad guys. You guys can see Suzumi got hurt.
All right. I think you said you were going to go first there, Theta, so you go ahead.
Oh, Byako was looking at Yamato like he was thinking about doing something, but then he hears the cry of pain from Suzumi, who's nearby, and he levies his arrows at this group of men that have come to attack her. And
all right.
I'm going to attempt a volley.
All right, you're going to attempt to shoot. So go ahead and make a roll. I believe you fight like a commoner.
I do. Because I am. And I suck at it.
That is a miss, but your next attack roll gets +3.
And the next one will hit you. Leave her alone.
That was just a warning. He fired a warning shot. Now, this isn't the first time I've killed street entertainers and intellectuals like you.
Previous crimes. He's admitting to previous crimes. He must have a bounty.
Yama's back there going, "Yes, fight like commoners."
I'll enjoy getting the money off of you, and I'll go ahead and come to Suzumi's rescue.
Okay.
Wow, that wasn't even a 5. That was a 1.
I'm just looking at a flat 2d6. It's a 9.
That's enough for a weak hit, I believe.
Yes, weak hit on a single foe.
All right. Since there's a group of them, they will retaliate. I need one of them moves in to flank you. I need you to make an initiative check.
All right, I got a +1 on that. It's a 7.
A 7 is enough to defeat a weak foe, so you'll dodge his attack.
Yay.
Suzumi and Kazumi have not attacked yet.
All right, and who's that guy up there at the top?
That is, he has a spear and he looks like a bit rougher. He was yelling orders to the other guys. Earlier, he was grappling with this strange woman.
Also, he has an arrow sticking out of him.
Oh, yeah, and he has an arrow in his chest, which he's holding. He's badass enough that he's still standing after hitting hit with the arrow, but he neglected. He decided not to engage.
All right, let me take a quick look at what Backstab said.
Backstab, I believe, says you can instantly defeat a weak opponent if you strike when covered.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, you have to roll 10 or better, too, though.
If the target is weak, you can kill them and you remain covered. If your target is strong, you kill them, but they are no longer covered. If they're grand, you score a grand hit and you become exposed.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and take a shot at him. If you roll 10 or better, you'll instantly kill him.
Yes. Let's see if that happens.
Hey, where did that Yamada's like cheering them on? Yes! Defeat them! Wait, where'd that goofy peasant go? Ah!
Damn it.
You have a 5?
Yes.
That is a miss. But your next roll does get +3. Suzumi.
Oh, didn't you already have +3?
No.
No, not from last round. Last round, he stabbed a guy and retreated to cover. As a ninja, his special ability is when he strikes from covered, he can instantly kill people. And he has another special ability that when he attacks people, he can retreat to covered. So,
okay. I must have been thinking of Theta's +3.
Right. So that's built in. So that's, yeah, he jumps in and out. Whereas, yeah, you guys being macho samurai fighters get standing bonuses as long as you're killing. Whereas he jumps in the shadows and fights like a ninja.
Right.
Suzumi, clutching your injury, you've bled your own blood. But other than that, you seem to be alive. What do you want to do?
I am going to shout some encouragement to Ganbaro.
Okay.
Because he's my hero right now.
Yep, I'm here to save you.
I think it's still good enough for a +1, because I think the minimum you can give someone is a +1. Okay. And there's no retaliation. So, okay. So, bad guys move. Well, Yamada's going, well, they've got, like, ninjas and stuff. I'm I'm out of here. However, his henchmen, still crazed with blood, you'll not get me, bounty hunter! You'll never take me alive! And lunges at Gambaro. Gambaro, will you dodge using initiative, try to intimidate me with righteousness, or will you, like, kill me with a combat move?
I will literally just shout at him. It's like, you idiot, all of your friends are dead, just give up.
No one calls me idiot and lives. Stab.
Here's a 12.
Dead. Nishi runs off in the forest to the east. Yamato runs off to the forest to the west. Suzumi is injured.
I imagine Gambaro is like looking left and looking right. It's like, you can't get away from me, and darn, you're getting away.
All right, so do you let them run off?
I will go ahead and chase after the woman first and see if she is alright.
You'll run off into the woods by yourself. What abilities do you have useful in chasing after women in the woods?
Well, wouldn't you know it, I'm a bounty hunter, and I can stalk weak characters.
Go ahead and make a stalking roll. As Gambaro runs off, what do the other three do?
Is Yamada out of line of sight at this point?
He is in the tree lines. Do you want to take a shot at him? I will upgrade it from strong to grand.
Quick question about the encouragement. Is that a +1 to any roll or just to the combat?
It's supposed to be it's a +1 to combat because Suzumi asked you to save her. You're not saving Suzumi anymore.
Got it, and that's already over. So
well, I'm not shooting anybody today.
Twang. I meant that, guys.
-1.
So here we go. I get enough to follow a strong person.
I think you just shot yourself. Just shoot the arrow straight up in the air.
That was my boomerang arrow.
What's a boomerang?
Don't know, I just made the word up.
Okay. Fortunately, you're not that far from Sumamachi village, so you might be able to find a healer there who can do something about Suzumi's wound. Gambaro, yes. You will be now with a 9, Nishi, the first reaction you make as she runs to the woods is, wow, she's no stranger to stealth. She's like avoiding common mistakes, even in her panic, such as sticking to this strange trail. However, my seasoned bounty hunter skills are enough to follow a strong opponent. So you will find her moving through the thick woods. Do you want to catch her, or do you want to see where she's going?
You know, my suspicion's been aroused now. I'm going to see where she's going first, and then make a decision later if I'm going to expose myself.
Okay, so you follow her stealthily. Like, so you make it look like you'll pause and she'll stop to look to see if you're still following her.
Instead of seeing like a big rhino behind her, she just sees like a tree that's ominously thick.
Yeah, and in Usagi fashion, she'd have a thought balloon of, oh, I'm glad I lost him. Now, to enter this dilapidated shrine that's here in the middle of the woods, that was possibly popular at one time, but now is in an overgrowth forest, hidden from prying eyes. She goes inside the spooky shrine.
Ooh, spooky.
You have a feeling that if you went inside her own lair, you might be detected because you only rolled strong. Do you want to go back to your friends, or do you want to confront them?
It is spooky. She is safe. I do know where this is. Unless I could say peer in without being noticed, but that sounds like the scenario of intruding on it and being spotted.
Yeah.
All right, I will go ahead and retreat for now back to my friends.
You make a mental note and retreat back to your friends. I assume you bind Suzumi's wound, but as best as you know.
Yes, please.
Don't worry, I'm a wizard. Here, I'll summon a demon. I'll summon a kami to live inside your wound. Will that make it better? Wait, you want it to get better? Oh, sorry.
Look, I'll just kill you, and I'll summon a kami to live in your dead body, and it'll seem like you're alive.
This is why no one likes you.
It's one of the various reasons why nobody likes me.
Yes. One narrative moment later, Gambaro says, "Guys, I put a tick mark on my mini map.
We can fast travel there anytime now.
But since Suzumi is wounded, you might want to get treated. Congratulations, you've seen a strange thing. Everyone gets 1 story point."
Yay, story. Alright then. Since Suzumi does need to be healed, and we have a whole bunch of bounties we could collect, I'm going to go ahead and round up all the weapons and just tie them together with a rope.
Hey, it's
to a
bad
nice,
luck.
easy to carry package.
Hey, it's bad luck to loot dead bodies.
Yeah, you don't
That's
do
true,
that.
but leaving weapons on the road for other bandits to grab seems irresponsible and maybe even criminal.
Does retrieving your own shuriken count as looting a dead body?
And-
You're a ninja. You don't care.
Right, and I guess
Well.
just to clarify, this isn't looting, this is cleaning, and I plan to turn this over to the proper authorities in town.
Yeah. Well, that was
And
like
use it as proof that I killed a whole bunch of bandits.
yeah. I'm doing some Usagi deep lore here because Usagi gets all upset when Genosuke loots the dead bodies. Like Genosuke goes, well, they're not going to use it. Let's see. They were indeed pretty poor peasants. You only get about 12 ryo. And they are armed with the most basic form of ken. What is the commoner sword? Never remember. They have commoner swords, so not proper wakizashis or katanas. No one's gonna help me.
I don't remember.
I just don't know.
Only thing coming to my mind is those wooden swords, but those are just practice swords. They're not.
Okay. Yeah, they're armed with hachiwaris.
Yeah, Yari would be like peasant spears, so...
Yeah, they're short swords that were used a lot in the militia. They're technically not supposed to carry them, but apparently they were bandits.
Indeed.
None of them resemble anyone that you actively know as a bounty, but you are a samurai. You can wander into town and say, I met some commoners, killed them, and walked away.
Exactly. Alright. So I suppose our business, at least on this roadside, is done. Let's go ahead and proceed to town.
You are unmolested as you travel into Sumimachi Village. Sumimachi Village had some strategic importance during one of the Sengoku battles, but now that's largely gone. So there is a wall around the town, but it's only the gate that you enter appears to be maintained. The rest of the wall has like collapsed and been repurposed. There is a watchtower. There's nobody in it. And a fire bell. So it's a pretty large town. It has that stereotypical look you have where they have the wide street in the center and then they have the shops with all the signs. So
Of course.
yeah, so it's big enough that they might have somebody to help you, but small enough, not nearly as big as some of these other towns that you see on the roads.
Alright. Well, I assume that the other 3 could easily find someone to help them in the meanwhile, and I'll go take care of business while they do that.
Okay.
Right,
So
is there like a shrine or something we can go to?
there is, in fact. After only a short amount of looking, you can find there is a modest Shinto temple where there is a Buddhist nun there who is happy to offer charity to people. Welcome, weary travelers. Sit and pray. Oh, you're wounded, she says. Here, let me help you. She stabs you in the other arm. There, now you're symmetrical. Did I mention I'm a warrior nun, not a healer nun? Sorry about that.
Ow.
Okay, no one is amused by that. No, more seriously, she does treat your injury. Go ahead and unimpair your initiative. Sadly, I can't do anything about your righteousness.
Okay, thank you.
as she binds, and she says, "Were you attacked by those bandits? Ah, it's so terrible how they think they have the they can go ahead and have run of the place."
I don't think the bandits will be of much trouble anymore.
What makes you say that? By the way, I should introduce my name is Shono. I am a Buddhist nun.
Because the samurai that we traveled with had dealt with a dozen of...
An actual samurai come to help us. That I know as a Buddhist I should lack earthly attachment, but our Lord is terrible. They don't do anything to save any of us. All they care about is collecting taxes and lazing about in their wealth. And here, you strangers are attacked on our well-traveled road. It is an embarrassment to everyone. You're lucky to be alive. Have you considered shaving off all your hair and becoming a Buddhist nun?
Yes, sorry, but it's not my call.
All right, how about the rest of you? I've got the razor right here. Wait, not you. Pointing at Byakko. In fact, you really shouldn't be in here.
Slow, sad walk outside.
With the Lucy
Lonely
line.
Man plays.
Yeah, no. The Hulk theme song.
That's Hulk.
Yeah. That's okay, say the Hungry Ghost. We'll be your friend.
Get away from me!
So
inside the temple, you're batting away ghosts.
there is the closest that Ganbaro can find that looks like a palace actually looks like an armory that's been converted into the mayor's house. It's not one of those fancy Nightingale type houses, the ones you always see in stereotypical fiction. It's just got stone walls and looks nicer. There's like a bored samurai at the gate, and he just kind of looks at you and recognizes that you're a samurai. So you're a bounty hunter. Do you just have the name Ganbaro? You didn't make up your actual clan or anything, right?
That's right. I didn't make up an actual clan or anything.
That's fine. During the Sengoku era, many lords fought on the wrong side and were defeated. Thus, you still have entitlement from your noble caste, but unfortunately, serve no master as a fluke of how the samurai system works.
Yes, so unfortunate. I was so loyal at the time, but then my lord just simply lost his station after the war. And now here I am, forced to wander to enforce the law I once did.
Would you like me to second you as you commit ritual suicide?
No.
That is but one of the many
I can get.
That's one of the many services I offer. All right. Well, I suppose by the protocol set down by Bushido, I have to let you in.
That'll be wonderful.
The Lord doesn't like to be disturbed. Jump cut to a fat cat sitting on his throne. What is this? I don't like to be disturbed.
My lord, I come bearing a small gift.
Another sellsword who is an embarrassment to the noble code of Bushido, plying your wares of violence not for the glory of the emperor, but for your own base gratification. He then takes a long sip from a bowl of sake.
But I have brought you glory already. It has already been your noble victory to have fought off 12 bandits. I say, dropping the bundle of like 12 swords in front of him. Congratulations, Lord.
His two retainers rouse out of their kind of like mocking stupor and they go, 12 swords! He killed 12 men by himself! Lord Yumemi is going to look at like the swords that you just dropped and say, my idiot retainers! Some unwashed, uncouth layabout shows up here and dispatches all of the bandits by themselves. And I can't even get you guys to, just cross the street and get a persimmon. But boss, he must, have the skill that surpasses anyone. There's no way anyone could be that good. And the other one's going to say, yeah, it's got to be some kind of trick. He just got 12 swords from a sword salesman or whatever and is trying to peddle them off on us.
If you doubt my honor, I would understand, though I would still take it as a front. I say looking at the retainers, not the lord.
What skills do you have useful in convincing the lord to give you your just reward? You can use negotiation to convince him he's supposed to. You could take offense and use righteousness. I'm not really sure how you could use schooling to try and quote the law.
Right. I think I might go with righteousness here, just to take offense and go. Are you sure you want to try to the retainers?
All right, go ahead and make a righteousness roll.
It's a 6. It's really poor. They don't like me.
How dare you insult me in my own home? We will pay you no bounty whatsoever. Be out of my sight and be grateful that I don't banish you from my village entirely. You are paid nothing. Unless you want. Now, you do have a story point, which you can spend to take +3 back to any roll.
That is true, and now would probably be the proper moment to use it.
Well, this would take you from a failure to a weak success. So you really want to spend it on a weak success?
Well, if it means progressing my plot of trying to get money for my job, then maybe so.
All right, spend the story point. It goes away.
It becomes a support now.
It becomes a support point. Sorry, I forgot. It becomes a support point. And then the Lord says, well, I suppose by the law we must pay you their due. Here is 36 Ryo.
All right, I will go and accept that, and I go, my lord, if I could have but one request, it would be to continue my mission in this area. If you could tell me more about the bandits, then I would gladly continue to bring you victory that you might celebrate yourself later for.
You sellswords have no honor and disgust me. Your weak success offends me. Be gone from this place. I don't want to see you in here again. But I do incense you with rage to give you a +1 bonus on a future roll to find out why I'm so angry.
Oh boy.
So you have +1 forward on the next roll to find out like what this guy's on about. But get out.
All right.
Okay. For simplicity's sake, the four of you will, I guess, rendezvous in the main street.
Time
I will
to
hold
find
up
an
the bag
inn.
of gold. Oh, you were about to say something, Data?
Oh, I did say something. Oh, I think we overlapped. I said time to find an inn.
That's right. Time to get to drinking, I say, shaking the bag of gold at everyone.
Sorry, says a man standing outside of a sake house. I can't help but hear that you're overburdened by money.
That I am, and oh boy, do I wish to no longer be burdened. How much do you have?
I can help you. I serve the finest sake in all of 5 kilometers.
How many ri is that?
I forgot how long a ri. I think his ri is 2.2 kilometers, isn't it?
It's some weird number. It's in every time they mention ri, they also put it at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, I forgot it was ri that they use for measurement. Sorry, I got to shift gears from China to Japan here. Where in Japan?
It's okay. The translator just put the conversion in. It's fine.
Yeah, but there's also no village within like 2 ri. So
exactly.
So it's a safe assumption, unless there's one on the road.
I've had a shortage of business today. I can't imagine why.
Well, let me supply you with all the business you need today.
Excellent. Come inside. Even you, he says, pointing at the creepy guy. Everyone's welcome. Maybe you'll entertain us. We haven't had an entertainer here in so long.
Sure. I know some stories.
I
wasn't talking
to you.
Camera just like pans like an inch to the left towards the actual entertainer.
And no one ever talks to Kazumi. It's like Kazumi's not even there.
Yep.
He's just a normal guy.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Party of 3. 4. What do you mean 4? Ah! So when the innkeeper invites Kazumi, entertain us. So what do? Do you sing? Do you make paper shadows on the wall? Do you spin tops?
I suppose that singing would be the best option right now.
All right. You assume you will sing a ballad. I believe. Do you want to sing something that's intellectual, which would be schooling, or sing with passion and use your righteousness?
Neither is my better. Neither is my good stats, but I suppose schooling is the better option.
Since you were having a crisis of morale, since someone had tried to kill you, your righteousness is impaired. So you'll choose one of the classic ballads then. Okay. Go ahead and make a roll. It's 2 dice.
And I forgot my -1.
Oh, okay.
So no, I'm not singing very well.
Well, he claps anyway, because this is the even crappy entertainment's better than they've had.
Only a minimum amount of blood coughed up. Amazing.
Honestly, since I've been living in this village, any entertainment other than a bunch of bandits coming in and crashing and breaking up the place, while I fear for my life.
That and it is free.
At no point, yes, it was a free song, and at no point did I fear for my life, fear for my life and the life of my family. Yay!
So I hear you fear for your life from bandits.
Oh, who doesn't? Oh, it's terrible. The lords and their lofty white heron castles do almost nothing to help us poor peasants. And our lazy lord hasn't done anything about the bandits. Apparently he's all upset about some rich person thing or another.
I'm just trying to piece things together.
And I'm not going to ask you to make a roll about this, because you guys would notice that one of since you guys got here, Gambaro, you noticed that one of the Lord's retainers is outside, doing a effort to pretend that he doesn't care that you're inside, like he's trying to pretend that he's not watching you, and doing a terrible job of it.
Of course.
But yeah, the innkeeper will tell you all sorts of stories about, yes, once our town was great and glorious and there were armies here and it was all like yada, yada, yada. And he's going to go ahead and tell a long and blathering story.
I will drink to it.
Does anyone want him to tell a story that's relevant to you? You could perhaps,
yes.
I don't know, negotiate such a thing.
I would like that.
All right, who wants to make a negotiation roll?
I do.
Okay. Please.
I have fast.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have fast talk.
Okay, which is, so it's 3 dice, -3 plus your bonus.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll. Roll high this time, Avery. What did I just say, Avery? Wow. That's 3 crappy rolls in a row.
Yep.
I suppose that I can't do the same thing because he just failed his.
That's a 3, so I'm going to assume that Suzumi tries to speak up, but is drowned out by his long and boring stories. Kazumi, I will let you go ahead and try.
All right, and
I feel
was
sorry.
that initiative that Avery rolled?
Negotiation. You want to steer the conversation towards stuff you care about.
All right, so I only have a +0 with negotiation, but I do have fast talk. That only works with initiative, though. So here we go.
Yes, I think what Suzumi was asking about. Oh, right. Our Lord's issue. Yeah, our Lord was supposed to receive some dignitaries. Someone was supposed to pass through here on their progress, rather than going through the other 8 roads. They were supposed to come through here, and our Lord was supposed to visit them. And so they sent their retainers around to tell everybody to neaten the place up, and was trying to make a show of trying to keep the bandits away. But then the Lord never showed up, and the visitor never came. We never saw the parade, and Lord Umemi hasn't told us anything. I don't know if he just forgot the date, or maybe things were canceled. He didn't feel like telling us, but we're peasants. They just keep us in the dark. He seems pretty upset about it.